Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Thought I'd throw together this quick little video just to show you how I'm going to set up my new compressor. Got a few spray painting jobs coming up, one of them being on the high ace. One of the biggest things you'll struggle with doing spray jobs at home is number one, CFM. You want at least 14 CFM. People will tell you they get 12 CFM, but you want about 14 CFM free air to do a proper full spray job on a full car. If you're doing smaller jobs, it's not going to be a problem with a smaller compressor. And the other thing is watering your lines and getting that, getting your lines sort of cooling that air coming off the compressors. With the professional units, they run a big refrigerator dryer, can run into the tens of thousands of dollars. Obviously, we don't have that luxury. It's also three-phase. In Australia, we only have generally single unless you pay enough money to get the three-phase to your premises. So I've opted for a petrol unit. You'll get a bit more CFM ratings out of the petrol girls. This is a 16.8 free air, I believe, so it should be more than ample. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to condense that air, get it cooled down before it enters the tank. And pull that water out of it before it ends up in my lines, because what generally happens, it'll actually start cooling towards the gun end in your hose, and once air cools, that's when the water comes out of suspension, and you don't want that in your spray job. So one, even if you've got a water filter on there, it'll actually overload that. Sorry, got a few mozzies. It'll actually overload, not overload, but you'll end up with a bunch of water in your filters, desiccant. So what I'm actually going to run off the shelf parts from cars. This is a 15 row cooler, oil cooler. Just make sure your burst rating is high enough. I think this was, from memory, I think it was a 600 PSI burst rating. So you want at least double of whatever your compressor is going to do. This is only running at 115 PSI, but that's more than ample. And the other things you'll run into is just finding all the fittings to convert along the way. So I'll show you the parts that I've used. If you want to do something similar, yeah, stay tuned. Probably, almost happened, didn't it? New shirt out, by the way. Check it out online. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks. All right, so the first thing I need to do is remove this line here. That's off of the last cylinder before it goes into the tank. So the idea is that we take that line out of the last cylinder, cool it through the cooler, and hopefully it condenses and cools before it goes down, back down this line and stores into the tank. Then we'll run a triple coalescing filter here with the oil water separator, and then it's got desiccant as well to further remove the water out of the lines. I think what I'll start with, I'm just going to temporarily prop up the cooler on here with the cable ties, preferably without dropping it again. And of course it's the wrong way around. Just hold that there. Alright, so I've already removed, disconnected this when I was sussing it all out earlier. Also removed this one. When I was finding all the fittings I need. So from this one, that's a 3/4 JIC. Then I've got it going into quite a bit of chasing my ass, figuring out what I needed for this job, but once I got all that done, it should be quite easy. So that's a JIC 2.5 BSP out of that guy. It's actually going on that one, but just showing you. 2.5 BSP. 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 2 and that's going to run down. I'm using a gas connector from Bunnings. The thing about this one, it's got a 2600 kPa burst rating, which should be more than ample. I think I worked it out to 396 or something or other. You can work it out, I'll put it on the screen now. PSI, so more than ample. That guy goes onto there. And then this cooler, being automotive, it's actually 10AN. What I'm told by NZ is 10AN is the same as JIC, but JIC obviously has that that angle, the taper on there. So then I can bring, I need an adapter to the 10AN to a half. That guy goes on there. And then all I have to do is run this one onto there. But before I do any of that, I'm going to run some pipe sealant on it. That way we don't have any dramas. And because I had this one out already, the way the pipe sealant works is that it needs bare metal, and it reacts to no oxygen and metal to cure. So I'm just going to, it has some sort of rubber sealant from the factory. I'm just going to clean that out a bit so it's got contact and hopefully seals up good again. So yeah, do that now. Something I neglected to mention is the reason for placing it where I am is that it's got a built-in fan from the belt-driven compressor that blows across the engine and cools the engine. So that should suck through there, and that's part of the cooling. So it works out quite well. All right, all that's left to do now is make a quick little bracket. I'm just going to use a bit of this, and I think it'll work out well. Right from there, across to these bolts, and yeah. I love it when a plan comes together. I actually bought this from Bunnings off the shelf, and these two holes line up to these perfectly. Well, at least when I checked earlier. So we run this guy into here. Might have to wallow that out a bit. As I do, I'll just grab the drill. Just to make things interesting, it's actually not the same here. It's the same this way, but not that way. I'll still get one bolt, that's all right. I have to remove that cable tie. A little nylock there so it won't rattle loose. A little bit different on this side, just the bolt being here underneath there, so I'm just going to make a little, there's the bolt, just going to make a little L bracket. Hopefully it works. Guys, I think it's time to kick the old girl over. Might interest you to know I've never actually started it since buying it. Straight to modifying. Nice old Chonda engine. The old Huck tire belt. let's see how many leaks we've got. After about 10 minutes of running, you can definitely see the temperature drop over the hot side and the cold side. Well, we had a maximum of like 110 degrees there, just, like I said, depending on where you point it, down to a nice cool 30 degrees going into the tank. And then if you look at the tank itself, about 30 odd degrees. So today is current temperature. If the mobile app is anything to go by, it's about 26 degrees. 23 at the moment. So yeah, clear difference. If it's something you're interested in, like I said, I've dropped the part numbers in. Pretty off the shelf sort of parts. A little bit of stuffing around getting the right bits and pieces, but definitely going to be well worth it if you're planning on doing a home spray job on your car or anything like that. It'll vastly improve the quality. So I was just about to wrap up the video for the day, and I got a notification that this guy arrived. So that's an oil water separator, and then you've got this desiccant which goes in this final one, which will dry it even further. So coupled with the oil cooler, as you see the difference in the temperatures shown there, given today is only about 23 degrees at this moment, and the temperature going in the tank is about 30. Yeah, down from like up to 110 degrees coming out of that final cylinder. So if I can get this on there, I will have to make a couple of modifications, probably cut this bracket out here to fit it, and maybe I'll leave it, make a little bracket. I need a little extension that goes from there to there. We'll see how we go with that, so I'll do that, and yeah, hopefully the next episode you see me using this thing, getting a few things done on the high A's, so stay tuned for that one. Alright guys, that's a wrap for this episode. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed it, please consider sharing, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Maybe buy a shirt. And remember, if you ain't broke, you're probably not a car bloke. I'm definitely heading that way. Thanks guys.